Well, we're a little bit closer to Destiny now, and by close I mean very close. Jason, how's your E3 doing?
It's been great. It's been awesome to see everyone's reaction as they play the game.
Yeah, you surprised all of us. A little bit left field. You guys are dropping the alpha this weekend. Was that always a nice surprise you had planned for players?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. Now, to cover that, I mean, we've seen the game, we've covered it in the magazine. Now, regards to the alpha, what people are seeing, though, is slightly different from the strike mission that we got to see when we traveled with Bungie last month. Can you sort of just a little bit of detail about what people should expect to see in the alpha, what they get to explore and see?
Sure. So the alpha is a small snippet of the game, but when I say small, it's still pretty large. So there's a lot of exploration that you can do. There's actually a little bit of a campaign mission that you can do. There's a strike, which is an area where you and two of your buddies can join up and do kind of like a linear mission that culminates in a big boss battle. And then there's also the Crucible, which is our multiplayer arena, where you can jump into the multiplayer.
Now, one of the surprising little points we found with the alpha was you're it's third person when you're in a tower, when you're going exploring about. And does that fit in with the whole philosophy, I guess, about looking good while you're going hunting?
Yeah, it's all about look at me. You know, I mean, you want to get a chance to see all the stuff that you've been getting along the way, and it's a really cool way to show that off. You know.
Okay. Now, alpha's out. We're expecting the beta as they announced during the Sony conference. Can you sort of talk about what will that be? What will that involve when the beta? When that comes,
the beta. So I really can't talk about the beta. I will say this though. I mean, we will treat the beta like a full launch. We want to make sure we get it in as many hands as possible. And the thing about the beta and the alpha actually is this is giving us a chance to get it out to the world and get a glimpse of how people play, and also look at how our systems work. And the beta is going to do that too. I mean, this is truly an alpha. You know, this is something that we wanted to get out there and really start getting our systems squared away. And we want to hear feedback, and we want to see how people play.
It's that sort of stress test, because this is a massively ambitious game.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the biggest game we've ever done, right? And like I said, I've been in the industry a while, and these are the largest environments I've ever worked on. So we're definitely trying to push the limits of everything that we can do on these consoles. Yeah.
Well, when we were talking to you guys at the studio, there's that sense that there's still a lot of stuff up in the air. You guys were still refining things, deciding on what to do, whether to fix A, B, C, whatever. Does the alpha, is that the first step in terms of locking stuff down for good? Is it? I mean, obviously enough, given the stats or online experience, things will change in the future, but is this you guys going, right, okay, now we have to get into this?
Yeah, it's like, now we got to get this done, right? No. The alpha is definitely the step into doing that. Like, there's some things that we've already locked down. There's things that we know, you know, and plot and story and things like that. But a lot of this is figuring out, like, you know, what kind of armor do people like? What kind of weapons do people like? You know, where do people like to play? What public events do they do a lot? You know, and so there's a lot of different things that we're refining based on the feedback that we're seeing. And we've had this alpha internally at the studio for a little while. And we've been playing it and seeing. We already started seeing stuff just with us because our studio is now a little over 500 people, and so that's a pretty good test bed. And then now that we're opening up, you know, to the masses, like being able to see that next step, you know, this little sliver of the public that we're giving it to, and then the beta is like the next true step, right?
I mean, it's that expectation where sometimes you're in the bubble and you're so close to it, you can't actually have that sort of fresh set of eyes on it. I know you guys had clans come in and try different sort of like gameplay elements, but is there an expectation that you may be surprised by what the feedback would be?
You know, our fans always surprise us, but we stay really, I mean, Bungie stays really, really close to their fans, right? We definitely have our community part of our events. We even have community guys here working E3 with us, so we work very, very closely with them and get a lot of feedback and make adjustments, you know, and we want to be able to be, at this point with the alpha and beta, as loose as we can to make sure that we deliver the best possible game we can.
Now, we're sort of exploring old Russia. Now, we've seen that a few times now. I just want to sort of talk to you, given your position, about how you guys approach designing Earth, but future Earth, and how you've tried to sort of design the environments. I mean, what's the look, what's the feel, what's the vibe you're going for?
So across the game as a whole, we ground everything in reality, and then we bring that up, right? We elevate that to the mythic science fiction that we're trying to achieve with all these destinations. And we want to make sure that it's a hopeful place, because, I mean, this is a time when humanity was lost, you know, like everything's been destroyed, and there's traces of us, but we're gone, and what happened? And so we definitely wanted to make that a hopeful thing as well, and have that Bungie flair to it, right?
Okay. Now, with the presentation that opened Sony's conference, we finally got to see sort of like a little bit of the history of what leads up to the events that we play in the game with the modern day Mars thing. Are you guys looking to sort of fill in the gaps between then and, well, should I say the now and then future point during the start of the game? How's that going to reflect out?
So we're not really talking about that yet, but this is all about you being a guardian in the last safe city on Earth and going out and finding out what happened, right? You're going out and uncovering all the lost artifacts and figuring out what happened to humanity, and also what is the Traveler and what is the darkness, and there's a lot of questions to be answered, and we answer them in due time.
Well, I mean, with the maybe obviously not wanting to spoil anything per se, but how do you translate that information? How you can convey that information to the player, especially in a first-person shooter? I mean, is it through audio files? Is it through terminals? How you representing that in the game?
Right. There's a multitude of ways that we're doing that, and actually, with the alpha, you can see there's stuff within the environment. There's history there. There's things that you can uncover within the environment. The ghost is your light. He's your guide, right? And then the tower itself. There's even a lot of lore within the tower. So there's a multitude of ways just within the environment. You know, taking story out of it and taking all the other content that's not in the alpha out of it. But there's a lot of stuff within the alpha that you can kind of start seeing little fragments here and there. You know, little mysteries to unravel.
It's just, you're pretty much setting this up. The idea is we're going to give you the brief sort of foundation stones of this world, but it's up to you guys to discover the mysteries. We're not going to lay it all out on you to begin with.
Well, we'll see. I mean, when the game gets out there, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that I'm holding back on too, right? I'm not telling you everything. Yeah, there's a lot of mystery, right? I mean, we do know that you go to all these different planets, right? You go to the moon, you go to Venus, you go to Mars, you know. So there's a lot of content to discover and a lot of different things that you'll end up seeing.
Well, given the online space that this is entering and the idea that there will be updates post-launch, I mean, you guys have a very, I don't want to say aggressive, a very long-form idea about what this game's going to be. Is there a sort of lessening of pressure, given that the deadline pretty much is to get this game out in September, right? You'll have, I'm assuming, certain like lines, achievements, milestones you have to get to, but given that there will be updates at a later point, can you guys does that leave pressure off, because you know, okay, there's the milestone, even if we don't get to that milestone, we can stop here, release the game, and get to that milestone for an online update? I mean, you guys feel more relaxed because that's possible?
I don't know. I don't think we're ever relaxed. Like, it's hard to say. I mean, and that's not saying anything in a bad way. We're genuinely constantly going, right? And we're constantly trying to figure out how we can deliver the best possible experience, and we're constantly setting everything up for what comes next, you know? And the plans are in place, right? I mean, we have a game plan and we're sticking to it, right? And it's a march, but it's a great march and a very fun march.
Now, obviously, you guys are totally wholly focused on the future, and this is what you guys are involved in. This is your passion now for the last couple of years and going into the future. But I got to ask you, while I'm here with Bungie, and obviously with the announcement of the Master Chief Collection, I just want to get your guys' impressions on that. I mean, sort of looking back your past in this lovely little way.
It's awesome, man. Right? It's our legacy. You know, it lives on. You know, it's something that's still out there, living and breathing, and they're doing a great job. You know, it's nice to see our legacy still continue on. It's great.
Is it like a sort of little kick in the heart when you sort of see that? I mean, we saw the trailer for the Halo 2, basically, remaster. Yeah. Is there a little thing of going, oh, good God, it's almost, it feels so fresh again?
Yeah, it's cool to see it. You know, it's great to see it again. And so, nothing but good things, you know? It's good.
Well, you guys are stuck. You're locked in here for the next few days, but you come out. Obviously, the alpha's out the weekend. What's the roadmap for you for like the next month, the next 2 months?
Well, we're going to be, like I said, monitoring and watching all the people playing the alpha and gathering their feedback and getting as much information we can from that, and quickly iterating on that and getting it into the beta. And so this is all a road march to launch. I mean, everything that we're doing is pushing to launch, and where it's different than our previous launches is we're actually actively looking at this and making tweaks and changes and dials and just dialing it in, right, and making sure it's as clean as possible.
So the idea is you guys will have a particular list of things that you need to do between alpha, to the future and stuff like that. But also you're having to cater in that sort of player feedback as well. So there'll be a polished based on player feedback, polished based on feedback release.
Yep. And it's expected, right? We knew we were going to do an alpha, we knew we were going to do a beta, and so we've been prepped for this, and so we're ready to go.
And you look totally unstressed.
Do I?
Yeah. How do you do that? How do you look?
It's magic. I don't know.
Listen, thanks for
nice guys like you. I think that's what. Yeah.
It's enthusiasm. Love it. The passion for it.
Man.
Listen, thank you very much for talking this. Best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's been great.